Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Inside High Vibe. This is a really awesome series where you can get to know a little bit more about the creators here, or I guess what you'll see, Tamara and I are going to get to understand a bit more about each other.
Yeah. Well, we have not collaborated, but worked together on both
Right.
Future Life and High Vibe. So the past few years now, and this is the first time we've actually ever met in person.
Very first
and
time.
got to have like a conversation.
Right. Which still
So-
feels surreal because future life feels like a whole past life.
It does.
Right.
Yeah. Future life seems like past life. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And now being part of High Vibe. So what made you feel called, even, to really be part of High Vibe?
That's actually a really good question. Because I usually get like what usually caused me to be on this journey, but High Vibe, I would say definitely, I'm very grateful for our time at Future Life because that very much so prepared this launch and I would say kind of guided our minds to how we're going to produce and what we're going to produce. But personally, I just felt like it was the right time, seeing David actually take his brand from being, David Palmer, inclusive astrologer, to becoming the Leo King, to, making the app. And I'm grateful to be, a contributor. I felt this was definitely, to answer your question, I felt like this is kind of like, the Avengers or like minds coming together. And instead of it just being about, each of us, we get to pull together our resources and embrace that whole team aspect, embrace, light workers or spiritualists, individuals coming together in a disruptive network and not being afraid to express ourselves and give our talents. So I'm really just grateful. And I would like to ask the same to you.
I am grateful too, because I had wanted, I've been in my field for a little over 26 years.
Wow.
And just all in private practice. And my soul was wanting to really level up and just reach as many people as I could and help in the capacity that I could in sharing my gifts. And I had been following David for a number of years before the apps came out. And so when he had put out the call, for Future Life, my guides were like, you got to do it. And I'm like, I know, but it was a little bit, intimidating at first. But I love being part of a team. And, especially now, I feel like it's so important to really unify. And I always resonate with David, and I've watched you and resonate how you present and share your gifts. And then, the other people that we've had, from Future Life, and then now on High Vibe, just our whole entire team with Anne and Erica and Tim. And we just all really complement and feel like we have a really powerful high frequency team that can deliver messages to multiple levels, multiple, ranges of people. And so that we're really making a huge impact.
Which I'm
with the
grateful
world.
for.
Yeah.
I do agree. There's a lot of potential.
Yeah.
With all of us here, but I didn't know you were you worked at or you were practicing for 26 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you practicing?
I started out as a massage therapist.
Oh, nice.
So I started out in the holistic health field, and as my journey, progressed, and going through my own healing and awakening, and learning all kinds of tools and taking advanced classes, getting into energy work. And, so I had always been intuitive my whole life. The clairvoyance and just the claircognizance, very, very strong in the dream things, visions and things like that. Always incorporating them into like my body work and energy work, and kind of like doing readings, and just building, and really creating a unique expression with all of my gifts. And a little over 26 years now, and just building a private practice around that, and helping people more locally. Had some people, I do have some people around the world. And then I just thought, I just have a really big message that I want to share in a big way. And it was so synchronistic, as so many things are, in this time, that it was in divine alignment. And it was time, just like the message keeps coming through now. It's time.
It's definitely time.
It's time.
I definitely respect and appreciate that. Like, having so much extensive years of less practice, and it's not like you're just jumping into it and serving people. Like, you've already, which is even better, being that you represent the nurturing energy too, so, and the mother vibration.
I love people.
Right.
I do love humans. Frustrate the hell out of me sometimes, but I do love them. I love all beings. But and I've just been in that health and wellness environment for decades. And so, you kind of, being a Cancer sun, I'm just naturally maternal and nurturing, but just really have that strong calling to serve. And I feel like it's all been in preparation, probably the same for you.
Yeah.
Like, how long have you been sharing your gifts with astrology and tarot and all that you do?
I would say for 8 years now. Before I was the peace dealer, I had a clear sight. My YouTube channel was called Clear Sight. I started at 2012. I had it 2013. And then 2014 is when I made a new one, because my uncle at the time had convinced me to delete it. Yeah, which is another crazy story. But I would say, like, since 2011 is where I started watching horoscope videos, but 2012 is when I joined Soul Garden, got my chart read, and that was when I was like, oh, this is what I gotta do. And,
I love that.
Oh yeah, it was like the holy grail to me at the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, 8 years doesn't feel like it's been 8 years. The time has just flown. But to kind of echo on what you said, it's also important, because like, you kind of can't hate people to do this work we do, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't stand these humans, or I'm not from this planet or whatnot.
Yeah,
and
right.
I can understand, feeling that, but this path has definitely helped me interact with more people, understand more people, which I think is the best part of what we do, because we pretty much just remind people how awesome they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're superhumans.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I love, right? You hone in on superpower, and I love that.
Cool. Actually, I think I always like to look at like the cardinal signs in zodiac charts, and I always feel like when you have your sun and moon in both cardinal signs, that's a super powered energy. It's like you're super cardinal.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
So, we know you've been practicing for a while. And it's really, once again, it's kind of really surreal, because we technically have been working together for a few years, and now we're finally like on stage together. So that's awesome. It's progress.
Progress. Yeah. It's progress.
What would you say are like your favorite, energy practices or exercises? Like, what's your favorite? Are you more into like the divination, or more the healing, or?
I love combining them. And I definitely like channeling is my jam. I love just receiving the information and just relaying that, right, and channeling that, being a divine oracle. And I feel that it has such a deep impact in my experience that I've had with people, and being able to inspire or offer hope, that just lights my soul on fire. That just really fills my heart with so much joy. And at the same time, the healing work. I do a lot of distance healing work. And when I can help someone, whether easing physical symptoms, imbalances, and or energetic, and they're really experiencing true transformation. This could either healing or channeling, reading, right, coaching work. Like, oh, it's just my favorite.
Right.
Just love it all. I do love cards too. Like that's super fun.
They're fun. Oh yeah.
Got to have like 20, 30 decks.
And it's time to throw down. It's time to throw down. 2 hours later.
What about you? What's your fave?
You know what? I would personally say, because a lot of what your answer helped me realize is that, healing is divination, and or divination can be healing. And personally, I think my favorite part of doing this, I would say, is more so like the experiences where you offer confirmations to people and helping people accept stuff that they struggle to believe or have always known. Yeah. And that's always like my favorite part.
Right. Like they just needed that final validation.
Right.
And that you can provide that for
especially
them.
If it's been like suppressed or denied for them, and like they haven't been able to.
Yeah.
So
help awaken them
Very
to their
grateful for that.
own divinity and help empower them. It's like one of the best things in the world.
It really is.
Yeah.
Super priceless. And I mean, I'm sure we've always heard that saying where it's like, what would you do if you never got paid for it?
Oh,
Would
yeah.
you still do it? And I mean, I think we're doing that. It's just pretty dope.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Very grateful.
I would, do this still every day.
Right.
And I love, making the videos, and I love, of course, coming down here to the studio. I love it when we can all get together and just be with each other and be in the energy and collaborate. And it's such a wonderful, like I always tell my husband and my kids, this is my second home.
Right.
Right?
Likewise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
And I think the best part is like we're still like just beginning. There's just still so much room to explore. And like one thing on this spiritual journey and path that was difficult for me to embrace when I started was communication with angels and spirit guides. I would see people draw angel cards and kind of just be skeptical. I just didn't want to accept that people had that connection. I don't feel like everyone did. I think I did pick up on some fakes out there, but I did run into people who authentically channeled it, and thankfully that helped me believe it, especially with my own personal experiences with like doubting it and then immediately seeing a synchronicity afterwards. And I mean like immediately afterwards, like we're here, whatever you want to believe. So how was your experience embracing this concept or these real energies?
I love that question because I feel I experienced the opposite, like coming from a place of, well, I don't know about that, or doubting as a young child, and having my gifts activated already. and just my environment and my circumstances, and just feeling different from the get-go, really. The non-physical and the thought of angels, and, divine beings and God was more real to me. And that I actually trusted in that energy more than the physical world around me. So I had this very strong connection with the non-physical, just since from a young child. So, I mean, I've gone through, on my journey, right, because especially right through those teen years and feeling different already, and you start, outside influences and projections start making you doubt yourself, and kind of journeying through that. But I've just had that really strong, deep knowing that it's real. I just never questioned it. So it's always been a real, my faith and trust has been powerful my whole life. But I do have a question for you. You just recently graduated college. So congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
So how was that journey for you? And like, what is your degree in?
That's a really, thank you, by the way, because there was a part of me is surprised too. Like, I actually really graduated. Like, I don't know why I felt like I'd just be a professional student forever. And just like, but I've been in college since 2008. That was when I graduated high school. I went to University of Maryland.
Oh, okay.
I transferred to UTEP 2010 when I moved to El Paso. And I was studying electrical engineering, and then I changed my major right after I finished the basics, started doing upper level classes. I changed my major to business. No. I changed my major to communications because I had no idea that even existed. I didn't know broadcast journalism was a thing. I was like, this is what I want to do. And so I changed that major. I ended up changing that to business. And then I ended up switching from business back to communications. And then I ended up minoring in business and doing organizational communication. Then I dropped out. And when I dropped out was, I think the first time I dropped out was around the time I actually went to Vegas for David's event.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And even getting there, I didn't know how I was going to get there. And I had read this book by Pam Grout called E Squared.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And it was just make tell the universe to do something within 24 or 48 hours.
Right.
And I was just like, and I did, and that's how I got the money to get to the event.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. And when I went to Vegas for the first time, I was like, oh, wow, I have to be out here. Like, I didn't know it was like this out here. And I felt like, this is a great opportunity to just do my thing, which is interesting because at first, I was very worried, like, what's my mom going to think? Like, is she going to, I hope she's not going to oppose it or kind of get in that way, which thankfully she didn't. But I actually ended up just transferring from El Paso to UNLV. And then I had dropped out. And when I had dropped out was when I had already started to see great success. I was able to go full time doing what I was doing. And
you were doing the astrology at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember vividly when I moved to Vegas, I had to get a business license so that I could work out at a psychic shop. I was working at, not Psychic Eye, but Karma Connection. It's off of Rainbow. And I actually, so it was awesome. We got paid daily, and we had to I've of course read people in the store, but that week I heard visibly, or I heard like very openly, like, this is the last week you're gonna work here. And I said back, I don't want to quit. Like, this is an amazing job. Like, I get to go there and talk to people. That very week, I met somebody who was looking for their dad. They didn't know where they were. And I had said somewhere in South America. And she's like, oh, my gosh, I think that's where he might have been last. And I kind of gave her hope. And then I met someone else who didn't even see me when she booked me. It was the last day I worked there. She didn't see me when she booked me. And then she finally saw me, and I looked exactly like her brother who recently passed.
Wow.
So I felt like that was why I actually even got the job. And then my friend took me out to the strip club, and I woke up late, got in late, I got fired. And so it was like, that really was the last week.
Wow.
That same day, my own online business ended up making up more money I ever made, and I never had to work a job again. So it was like really that last part.
Wow.
So, I mean, at this point I dropped out, and I wasn't planning on finishing school, which I was kind of surreal because ever since Kanye dropped his first album, College Dropout, like that was kind of what I wanted. I just kind of wanted to make it doing what I love. And ironically, I ended up doing that only to go back to school because my mother insisted, like she just wanted me to get the degree. And I ended up, going back and eventually finishing. My attitude towards the college classes, I will not say is exemplary, because I would literally like take courses and then drop them because I just wouldn't show up to class. But the timing ended up being perfect in a weird way, because that was when I went back for business, and then my advisor said that this kind of looks like a blessing in disguise, because I wasn't able to finish business because I think I had dropped too many courses, or I had done something to where I wasn't able to take a class more than I did. And then that's when the counselor was like, oh, well, if you took this path, you would have been here for 3 more years. If you just go back to communications, you'll be done in like less than a year. And I was like, oh, let's do that.
Yeah.
And I know I was destined to graduate, because weird things would happen during my career where, like, even back in El Paso, I was taking a differential math equations class, and this is after you take all the calculuses, which are evil in my opinion, but oh my God. But like I remember getting an F in the test, and other people would fail, but he'd just give us an A. And like, right, the very one of the very last classes I had to take for communications, I think was it was an online class, and it was right when COVID had started locking everyone down. So just for that semester, like if you had gotten a D, because you have to pass to get you have to get a C to pass, but if you got at least a D, they can just kind of excuse the grade, which is what happened with me in that class. So I'm still wondering like why it's a miracle I graduated, to be honest, but I actually have no plans to use the degree outside maybe if I wanted to pursue a master's.
Yeah.
Thankfully. So I'm grateful for my mom for that, because
I was going to ask you, because you have brought up your mom. Are you close with your mom?
Yes, I am. It's I'm starting to understand why we kind of have the relationship we do, but that's definitely, even though she's very vocal and open to me about not really liking what I do, she still has definitely supported it indirectly. Because ironic, like one thing she always told me was like, whenever things get hard, I always give up or I don't finish it through. But this is the only thing that she's ever seen me like actually keep at and actually find some type of success. Even though she doesn't agree with it, she does like that, seeing that. So definitely, I know she just wants to look out for me, right? She wants me to live the,
of course, yeah.
So that I definitely honor her for. Thankfully, if it wasn't for her, I would not have this degree. So I could definitely, even though I didn't have plans to use it, I know it will definitely it has the potential to help me one day. So, or
Yeah, and the
if I can.
experience,
Right.
you know.
And I was able to meet some pretty cool people on campus in college. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Everything in purpose.
And that's one thing about that, though, that blows my mind, because even in the chart, like when my progressed moon was transiting my natal ninth house of higher education, I went back to school. And then when it left is when I graduated. So that just
That's interesting.
right.
Yeah.
Made me realize, okay, this is part of my path.
Right.
But I kind of saw it more as I was just meant to meet certain people as opposed to really just getting a degree. But
Yeah, it's all, I feel, about connection,
yeah.
right? And just like here at High Vibe, how we just all connected in really different ways.
Yeah.
And of course, right, David being the main, the main hub, the main connector, awesome Leo King that he is.
Which is amazing because he rules the sun and all the planets revolve around the
Right?
sun.
How funny is that?
We
Yeah.
were kind of marveling about how Craig, Ann, and I, and even Kim, like, we're all aliens. We all have alien constructs, and we all met through, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's amazing.
I think I have alien in my,
I know your rising's in Virgo.
yeah,
Right.
tis, yeah.
I mean, even if you didn't, we know you're definitely celestial. So
Yes. Yeah, connect with those galactic and celestial frequencies.
nice.
So, you know, nice, well-rounded. Well, this has been awesome.
Absolutely.
Get to know you more. Finally connect physically in person.
Yeah, that definitely makes all the difference.
It does.
We got some guests who want to show up too.
We have some fur creators here at High Vibe as well. Guinevere and Morrow. But thank you for joining us. So now you know a little bit more about Peace Dealer and myself, Tamara Jean. Little behind the scenes sort of
More to
on
come.
High Vibe TV.
Right.
And there will be more of us to come. You get to find out some more insights and details into our lives. As they used to, right? The old, oh, I mean, you might be too young. These are the days of our lives. It was an old daytime soap opera back when I was growing up.
I've heard that sampled. I just didn't know that's where it was from.
Yeah.
That's
yes.
awesome.
My grandma used to watch it. And
I'm a little nervous and also shocked just to see you. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, oh my God, it kind of feels like a dream kind of still.
It does feel kind of dreamy.
Yeah.
You're dreamy, Mike.
Thank you. And I have Chiron in Cancer, so I just feel like soothed.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
Oh. All right. Till next time.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all.
Bye-bye.